Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'd like to show you how I made this card. Now there's a bit of a glare because of my lighting, so I'm going to move that, tilt it a little bit so you can see. In my last video I used foil and we scored it. And so this time I thought I would use foil with some of our pretty springtime foil papers, and I would emboss it. And you can definitely do all kinds of things with this, with foil, and I'll be showing some more things that you can do, how you can color it, how you can use different colors of embossing powder, how you can age it, and so on and so forth. And this one is done very plainly. It's just the little strip here that's done to add embellishment to this card. And the sentiment on this one is wishing you a lovely day. I thought that was just awfully pretty. And on the inside, you could then say happy birthday or whatever it is that's going on. And so let me tell you what we need to make this card. What we need is I used a Whisper White base that is 8.5 by 5.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then I'm using a piece of this beautiful striped silver paper out of the Sale Abration. So this one is in the second release of the Sale Abration, these papers right here. So you can get some of this paper for free through the end of the month. And this whole Sale Abration thing goes away at March 31st. So if you're going to get it, this is the time to do it. It's free for a $50 order. And it is absolutely stunning paper. There's 12 sheets in there, 3 each of 4 different designs. And I think I've worked with all of the various ones in several of my last videos. And this is the one that I had not used much of, so I thought I would do that today. Then this piece is from the Sweet Soiree. Let me get that. The Sweet Soiree. This is out of the Occasions catalog on page 13, and it's this beautiful paper that's down here along the bottom. And this piece is this with the white background there on the bottom. Then another piece that we're using from this catalog, it's from the Petal Passion Suite, and that is this embossing folder. And you can see hidden, they're really not very prominent, but there's 2 little embossing folders, and I don't have, in fact I had the other one out and I don't know what I did with it. But there's this one that has this pretty pattern of, like, I don't know, vines or something. And then there's another one with a very heavy-duty floral piece. And when you get this set, you get both of these little embossing folders, and they're perfect for an accent. You can actually put them on your card by doing something like this and putting that pattern right on your card front. In this case, I use this for the foil. I will say that using foil to emboss with can be challenging because sometimes the paper tears. It's not meant, I don't think, for much in the embossing, and you can see this particular piece that I embossed ahead of time has the beginnings, I don't know if you can see that or not, has the beginnings of a little tear right in here. So with this kind of a piece of paper, often I will use mounting tape that will sort of help seal some of that, or making sure that I'm putting my dimensionals when I put this on my project so that such that I can make sure that I put it where I'm holding those things together. The other thing about this is I have one machine that has very low pressure, and so I do my embossing. Often if it's going to be too deep and maybe cut my paper, I do my embossing on that. And if you don't have that as an opportunity, then what you can do is, instead of using 2 plates, you can use a plate and a crease pad, which is a spongy pad that doesn't get as deep an impression. And messing around with what that sandwich looks like on my various machines, it really does vary. Sometimes it's a single plate, the embossed piece on the inside of my folder, and a crease pad and a piece of fun foam and, you know, a piece of cardstock, just experimenting around until you find one that gives you the impression and doesn't break your foil paper or your vellum in half. And so just a tip there, there's different ways to put those sandwiches together that gets you some success. The other thing that I'm using, and it's from this set, which is in the Occasions catalog, not the Occasions, yes, the Occasions catalog, and it's Lovely Wishes. And so from this one, I'm using this sentiment that's right here, wishing you a lovely day. And it's also got You Warm My Heart, You're One of a Kind, and it's got all of these cute little patterns. I think I'll take this one out and do a card with it, because I think there's some really cool things that you can do with this and some of the lavender sprays that make it look like wisteria. And so it's a very intriguing stamp set to me. It looks very simple, but sometimes simple is deceiving. And I think there's quite a bit that one can do with this. So that is what I'm using today. And so let's just get started. And let's see, the other thing I'm using is some of our metallic edged ribbon. This is the white edged in silver. I thought the silvers all together made this work. And I've already embossed my piece, so I'll bring that out. So I had a piece here that was 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and that's what I embossed here. Then I have a piece that's 1 inch by 5 1/2, and another piece of this pretty designer paper here. So there's this piece for the inside. This is 5/8 of an inch by 5 1/2, and this is my other piece, and it is 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. So, and these two are going to be used on the inside of the card. In fact, I did this little strip on this one, and I'm making this a bigger piece on the one we're going to do together today. All right, so this ribbon here is, in fact, I've got a little piece of scrap ribbon that I'm going to use on the front of this card. Just goes around this base before you put it on your card. And so on this one, I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this piece with some snail. And I think this piece is too long. Let's see. Yes, so I'll cut a little bit of that off. And then we're going to go ahead and put this piece here on, oh, let's see, there was one more piece. This is 1 1/2 by 1 1/2, and it's for our sentiment out of Whisper White. Any old scrap will do. Okay, so I'm going to put this towards the bottom of the card here, and I just wanted, we've got so many stripy things going up and down, I thought it was, from a design point of view, nice to break up the pattern a bit by having one piece of something with silver on it. That's not very straight. Let's see if I can fix that. Didn't use my grid paper, and that's exactly what I should do here, so that I am coming across and making sure that I get that straight across. Grid paper is wonderful for that kind of thing. Okay, so there is our ribbon going across. And again, we have so many striped elements going this way, I thought to break it up would be a nice thing to do on this going the other way. Now, I think on this one, no, I did lay that flat. And I'm going to lay this one flat on my card front here. And I'm just going to do that with some snail. This is a very fast card, because the only real thing that you're messing with is doing a little bit of embossing in silver with whatever message you're going to put on here. I put the wishing you a lovely day, but this would make a great birthday celebration. Congratulations, happy birthday, thank you. It would make a lovely card for just about anything. And when I ran this one through the embossing folder, it was kind of a happy accident. This one I put the silver side with the embossed image raised, and on this one I did it with the embossed image debossed, and I actually think I like that better. So what I'm going to do is I raised this one on dimensionals. This one I'm going to lay flat and then raise these two pieces up. It got to be just almost too much of that dimension. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put some tape, lots of tape. You can see there where it's starting to split, even using my machine with a little less pressure. So lots of glue, and I wanted a few of the stripes to be peeking out on this side. And so I'm going to place this down here and push that into place. There we go. All right. Now I think the dimension will work a little bit better as we lay this piece down here on dimensionals. And again here, what I wanted was, I want some of the vines to be showing, and I want a good amount of stripe to be showing off of this side. So this one I am going to raise on dimensionals. And because it's a long piece, what I'm going to do is put dimensionals in the corners, and then so that it doesn't sag, I'm going to put 2 dimensionals in the middle. Okay, so there we go. And then this piece is where we're going to do our stamping, the wishing you a lovely day, and we'll be doing that, and I mounted that here. So we'll be doing using our Versamark. I saw a tip on a video this week, which I thought was a wonderful thing. A lot of people in my classes and such often forget to use their embossing buddy first, and then they've done their image and then it's screwed up and they get to do it again. And I thought it was very interesting what this woman suggested, that you take your embossing buddy and you put it on top of your Versamark pad and put a rubber band around it. And that way, when you go to reach for your embossing, your Versamark, you automatically have to take that pad off, and it helps you remember to use it. And I think that's a wonderful thought. Now, in a class where they get separated, but for your own, on your own desk, I think that would be a wonderful thought. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment on here. Wishing you a lovely day. And I'm going to use the grid paper on my Pierce mat here to help me get this straight. There we go. And then I've got some silver embossing powder here. And there we have our sentiment. And as usual, I will quiet the video while I emboss this piece. Okay, there we go. Now then, putting this piece on here, what we need to have this be at the same level as this is a little bit of snail on this side and a couple of dimensionals on the other side. And then it's a matter of where you want to place this on your card, and I kind of liked it a little bit up the card. Yes, that's much better than this original version. It looks balanced and it looks like it fits and it looks like it belongs. Then the next thing I did was add a little bow here to the bottom. And so I'm going to just tie a little bow here. Somebody asked me the other day about getting your bow tails both going down, and I found that when you put the bow together, the top side of this bow and the bottom side of this bow is what tightens the bow. So if you can hold on to these ends at the same time you pull those two pieces, you will automatically end up with your tails down and out of the way and generally get a pretty good bow. So let me just trim off these edges here and grab my glue dots. And I like putting glue dots. Let's see, I put one on the bottom of the bow, on the knot, and I thought that looked good coming, as it were, a little bit over this piece so it's really visible. And so if you put a dot there, then you can sometimes catch both the loop and the tail on your glue dot when you put it in place, and it holds your tail in place. And then one on this side. And there we go. The front of our card is pretty well complete. Now, on the inside of the card, I have these two pieces, and I cut them to fit the card sort of top to bottom. So this is just a matter of putting some glue down. Now you could fussy cut out a few of these flowers if you were so inclined to add some to the inside of the card. There's a lot of things you could do, and I'm leaving just the tiniest border along the edge of the white here. And then this piece is going to go right down the center, and as per usual, I cut this just a little bit long so that I could make sure I got a perfect fit. So I'm going to put my glue on and center this piece. Use my grid paper here to help me. Center that piece there, coming down the page. And then I can turn this over and just trim off this little piece, and I have a perfect fit. All right, so there we go. There's the inside of our card. And that is the project for the day. A nice, fast, easy card, yet it has some pieces to it that make it look like there's an awful lot of effort. The ribbon going around, the embossed foil piece, these beautiful papers. You know, this is another, really could be part of my Fast and Beautiful series, because this is so fast and so easy, and the pieces are by and large done for you. Really, the only stamping we did was the sentiment, and on the inside we have a lovely decoration, and I think it's just a very pretty card. And you could do a longer sentiment and put it along the bottom or way at the top, and fishtail an end and put them in doing different kinds of things and any kind of a sentiment that you wanted. But that is the project for today. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. I so appreciate it. I'm a little behind on videos. I didn't get one put up yesterday, and I didn't get one put up on Friday. So I'll try to be putting a few extra ones up this week. We had folks from out of town and other craziness going on in my life, and so circumstances just overtook me. So I'll be catching back up here in the next week or so and adding some more videos. I've got some real exciting ones coming up. I'm going to attempt the black ice technique in a video for later this week, and I'm going to try and do some variations on it as well. And I don't know if you've seen that one. It's just very unusual. Melissa Kerman, if you get the chance to go view some of her videos, came up with this technique. It's a lovely story. She and her 80-something-year-old mother came up with this technique. I just love the story. In any case, I'll be doing that, and then I have another one that is a kind of a mixed media front that includes brusho and embossing and all kinds of things. So another couple of really nice videos coming up. I hope you'll join me. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. People who are on my team, especially through the month of March, the month of March still has those 2 free stamp sets from Stampin' Up! So you get your $125 for $99 plus the 2 free stamp sets from Stampin' Up! So it's a pretty good deal, and that will be in place through the end of the month. After celebration is done, that deal is gone. So if you're thinking about it to sign up for the discounts, or you want to create a little business for yourself, this is a good time to do it. Any time is a good time to do it, but this is particularly good with the added incentives. So that's it for me today. Subscribe, share the video, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon. I'll be back with more cards and more projects. Bye.